Greetings, everybody. Nick DiVirgilio here, and welcome back to my podcast, So You Want to Be a Musician. The guest for this episode is Mr. Mark Daly and his band, The Ravens. Now, if you don't know who Mark is and you've never heard his music, you should definitely check it out, especially if you like good rock and roll. Mark and his band, The Ravens, opened up for Mr. Big on the USA leg of the Mr. Big tour. That's a mouthful right there. Just earlier this year. And they were a great bunch of guys to get to know and to watch perform each and every night because, man, they just gave it up. They're a ton of energy. The songs are great. Mark is a great songwriter. He's got a nice, raspy rock and roll voice. It's just very enjoyable to get to know the guys and to see them do their thing. Mark's been on the road a lot. He's been building his brand for a number of years, making records and touring all over Europe and USA. And, you know, he knows what it's like to be on the road a bunch, away from home, away from his family. He hails from Ireland originally. So, you know, being in the USA is a long way from home and has to, you know, just stay in contact with his family via FaceTime a lot. And they're in a van and in hotels and in and out of clubs and venues. And man, they're working hard. But that passion for music, that drive to have music be your life and to share your art with the world is deep inside of Mark Daly and the guys in his band, because they're all hard worker musicians. A number of the guys in the band are also in Jeff Tate's band. Jeff Tate's the former lead singer of Queensryche. So these guys are working a lot. They're constantly on the road. And, you know, if you want to be a musician and you want that lifestyle, you got to learn how to deal with it, how to juggle your mental state, your personal relationships, all kinds of stuff like that. It's a really interesting story and cool to sit down with Mark and the guys, because you're going to get a number of different perspectives from each of the guys that we talk to, that I talk to. We're all talking together. It's kind of a we thing, right? So if you're watching and listening on YouTube, thank you very much. And you might be looking at the camera going, Nick, didn't you have blonde hair like last week? Yes. If you're only listening to the podcast, you just kind of bypass this little part right here. But yes, yeah, the blonde, it was, I tried, and it just turned yellow. So it's kind of going back to my normal color. It's still light, right? You know, I like to go to the hairdresser. What can I say? Amanda, she's cool to hang out with and talk to. Anyway, enough of that. If you're watching and listening on YouTube, I thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. If you're checking out the podcast on Spotify, Podbean, or Apple Podcasts, thank you very much, and follow the podcast. And now, without further ado, my conversation with Mark Daly and his band, The Ravens. Fellas, what's going on?
How's it going?
Hanging out with Mark Daly and the band. Everybody, start from your side. Introduce yourselves, would you?
My name is Danny Laverde, and I play drums.
I'm Jack Ross, and I play bass guitar.
Hey, I'm James Brown, and I play lead guitar.
And I'm Mark Daly, I'm the singer.
I'm Cillian Plummer, and I play rhythm guitar.
Rockin'. You guys are on the road with Mr. Big, and I'm in Mr. Big. It's really cool to have you guys. Your band's kicking ass each and every night. It's really fun to listen to you guys play. Great musicianship, cool songs. Love your voice, man.
Thank you.
So I wish you all the best of luck for all of the future endeavors you guys are going to be experiencing.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys are also in, who's all in Jeff Tate's band? You three guys, okay. So you guys are...
I didn't make the cut.
Wow. But that's cool coming from that to this. And how busy does that gig keep you guys?
Yeah, very busy. After this tour, we are going on to 10 weeks of Jeff Tate for the big rock show.
Yeah, co-headlining. Yeah, Adrian Vandenberg is actually going to be with us on that one, co-headlining that.
Nice.
You know, start on the Legends Rock Cruise and then go into that for 10 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, will you get back together with Mark after that kind of, like in the future?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Is this the crew?
It's permanent crew.
This is
That's
the
great.
crew.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah. No, we love playing with Mark. Mark has done a whole lot for us. I mean, dude. I mean, his music, just the way I don't mean to, you know, yeah. But I mean, it's true. I mean, you hear his voice, but just also behind the scenes how he treats us, not only us, but everybody. It's just super class.
Oh, he treats us very special.
Yeah.
That sounds creepy.
Don't be weird, Jack.
Well, this is a good segue for what I'm talking about in my podcast. The title of my podcast is So, like, ... you want to be a musician. And I've been a musician for over 40 years. I've been doing this a long time, been on the road a ton, and had all kinds of different jobs. And it's not always easy making music your life's work. Personal life, making money, just all the kind of normal day-to-day stuff. And I just kind of want to try to help educate younger musicians coming up, or anybody that thinks they want to do this at a higher level, whether that's being a total pro or not, just kind of relay some education from guys like you who are out here every day in a van, driving, away from your families, all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. The first question, this is going to be a really deep question.
Okay.
You don't have to go deep if you don't want to.
Okay.
And sometimes it's hard to not answer it. It's not easy to answer short. But I'll just go down the line. It's a heavy question. So, do you have to play music to be happy?
Here come the tears.
Wow. Yes.
Okay.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Elaborate on it a
Yes.
little bit, maybe?
Yeah, wow. I do really think that, like, if I had the option of doing anything or playing music, it's going to be playing music.
Yeah.
Be it for the challenge of improving or even just to kind of switch off. It's a weird one in that you can both progress and switch off. You can kind of do anything and either listen or play music.
Yeah.
I remember being in school one time and a buddy of mine was like, oh, listening to music's a waste of time. And it was really funny because all of us at the time had just started playing an instrument and everyone like turned their head at the same time and was like, that is like the most nonsensical thing I've ever heard, because you can do anything and listen to music. And it was just, 14, 15-year-old boys being like, that makes no sense. And it's always stuck with me that like you can always do music with something. If you're just like chilling out, if you're playing in a band professionally or whatever. But yeah, no, I do find music is very important to keep me happy anyway.
That's great.
Yes.
So, Mark, this is your project.
Yep.
I don't know if these are all your songs, but I mean, it seems like this is your passion.
Yes.
So, same question. How can you answer that?
I find happiness elsewhere as well, like being home with my kids and
course.
my wife and stuff. Find happiness there, but I feel lost when I'm not playing music.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, it's what I'm meant to do. Like the minute we go on stage at night time and play, the minute we set a foot up there and the first chord rings out, it's like, yes, that's what I'm meant to do. So I can be happy without music, but the happiness that music brings me is unbelievable.
Great answer.
So yeah, I guess mine is kind of similar as well. I mean, like I get my happiness. Yeah, I know. I get my happiness from other people as well, but other things. But music definitely is, and it is the whole thing about just being about on stage, and just you kind of just disconnect and just get a euphoric feeling, or at least I do personally when I play, and it's very rewarding as well, especially when you put like the countless amount of hours that you've put in, and just when you're playing your own music as well and seeing people's reaction. That's what like really
That's
just
what it's all about,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and it's what really brings a smile to my face and just like, yeah, it makes me feel proud of myself, and from that I feel happy about it as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, you get addicted to that feeling, performing in front of people, screaming, having a great time. You just sort of, it's a rush that you can't beat. So yeah, I think I need to be performing in some way to be happy. Yeah, before music I did a bit of acting, but music's my passion. Yeah, and it's just great.
Yeah, what they all said. No, but from my point of view, I mean, no, it's off of what they said. I mean, because of what we do, it is kind of a way of life.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that with drums and music in particular, it was a way for me to express myself. While there is more to life, obviously, than music, because it's such a big part of my life, it is a lot like therapy to me. Sure. And, not doing it, it's, you get anxious and you start feeling weird and stuff like that. You're missing a lot. It's true, yeah. It is one of the biggest parts of my life, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
No, and everything you guys just said, it resonates with me completely. It's the same thing. There's something about when you get to that point, and you step on stage. Even the recording studio could be that way in a different kind of vibe. But once you just see those eyes and people banging their heads, and the enjoyment that you bring to them with the art that you make it's pretty spectacular.
There's nothing like it. Yeah, there's
like it.
absolutely nothing like it. Music is what emotions sound like, and so that's
it's a great answer.
That's what
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Say nothing more now.
He wants the mic now.
Okay, so give me a few pitfalls. We don't all have to answer everything if you guys don't want to, but give me a few pitfalls of what it's like being in like an opening act. Traveling in the van. What's it like? Relay some of those things. Some of the hardships it's like being on the road.
Early mornings, lack of sleep.
Yeah.
That can be a thing.
I think we're lucky because we all really get along.
Yeah.
Well,
So it
that
does
helps.
help.
Yeah.
And I've seen bands that don't necessarily get along amazingly, and I think we're really like we'd finish a show and we'd get into the van and we'd compliment what everybody did that night. Be like, Danny, I loved how you did that tonight, and James, your solo. Like we all big each other up while on the road, and I think that keeps us from, because it can be long drives, hard days, and I think we all look after each other as much as we can.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit tougher in your situation, right? You guys are in a van. We're lucky I've got a tour bus. I can go lay down
Nice.
and do all that kind of stuff. There is that one little level up of stuff. And are you guys getting hotels? What are you doing? I mean, how tonight you just get
We're lucky enough to have hotels every night. So a plus one that we have over you is we have showers every day.
This is
our only thing.
Some of the pitfalls of rock and roll touring: showering at the venue. Ooh,
and it's waiting in line for the showers as well.
That can be scary.
Something like that, or hobo showers where you just got to go into the bathroom and just it's just grubby and dirty. Yeah.
Shower shoes.
Yeah. Ooh.
Gotta have a good pair of shower shoes.
We've been lucky. The van we have is really nice. Mike's looked after us. The hotel's been really nice.
Yeah.
And it's just this tour, I feel like we've all learned a lot.
Okay.
And it's been a really, really positive experience. And watching you guys and learning from me, we're always watching and learning.
Awesome. So you have kids. I have kids. I know what it's like to be. I've been married 30 years almost here. My kids are 23 and 25. What's it like doing this, living your life's dream, but being away from your family? How hard is that?
Super hard. That's the hardest
How old
part.
are your kids?
5 and 10.
Oh, so you have young ones. Okay.
Yes. So my son is kind of like, just bring me back presents. So his behaviours come out in different ways. Like he'll get in trouble in school, and he'd like his anxiety from me being away comes out in different ways.
Gotcha.
And then my daughter is just straight up, Dad, I miss you, and it's really hard. But FaceTiming them, once or twice a day makes it a lot easier, of course. But that's the hardest part.
And how long have you been with your wife?
We're together 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was music ever an issue between the two of you? Your passion for your life's work, you want this to be your calling, how you make your living, support your family. Did it ever get in the way of the relationship at all?
Luckily, she's so supportive that she's like, I know that you have to do this, and she knows how determined I am and stubborn I am, that I'm like, I have to do this and I'll make it successful because I'll just, no matter what.
Right.
So she's been supportive from day one, because I when we met, I was a musician, and it's just been, she's like, I know that's what you want to do. So
Great. Anybody else have a similar, married or long-term relationships, anything like that?
Yeah, I am with my girlfriend for 7 years, and I have to echo what Mark said a lot. She just gets this.
Okay.
That
Understands it.
there was no kind of, what do you mean you're going to be away? Or, you kind of look at it in the face of it, like we've all heard that, I bet being a rock star is really easy and stuff. There was none of that, because she had seen me, start out trying to make a profession as a musician. So when this opportunity came along, she was like, this just makes so much sense.
Right.
So there's no kind of, want to stop me to go, if you get me.
Right.
It's just like, go for it, do it. Because, much like Mark, this is just what was supposed to happen, I suppose.
Sure.
Which is great. It's really good. It makes going easier. It doesn't make going easy.
No, I get that. Yeah,
but
for sure.
but not riddled with guilt about what are you doing? What are you?
Yeah, because they understand sitting in a venue for a long time. It's not all drinking beers and having parties. It's like, okay, we need to do our job.
Right.
I think that's the main thing. When your significant other, be it a wife or husband, whatever, understand it's a job, it gets very easy, as opposed to you're messing about and having it's not really a job. It's like, it is a job, so they get that and makes it easier.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
For any one of you guys here, has there ever been a point in your musical life where you thought that, what am I doing? Why am I here? Have you ever got to that dark point of music, wanting to maybe do something else? Maybe you're not doing the right thing. Has there ever been that kind of doubt in anybody's mind, being a musician?
So actually, it wasn't a doubt in my mind, but it was more so the position I was in, because of COVID. When that hit in 2020, I was on tour with Jeff in America, and I flew home on St. Patrick's Day, and pretty much a year went by just with shows constantly being rescheduled and stuff like that. So then I ended up getting a job in a bar, and ended up becoming like bar supervisor and just working my way up. And I was like, maybe this is going to be the new thing. But then I got a phone call from Jeff's manager again being like, yep, we need you to come back. So I just dropped that straight away. So yeah, thankfully I've never been in that place. Like, I mean, I've been to it where band members have left before in previous acts, and whereas like seems like, oh, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but something always comes up, I find. And I think a lot of that is just down to the people you know and the way you network with people as well. Sure. That's like definitely a big part of it, and probably how a lot of us got here right now.
Yeah, networking is just huge,
Yep.
isn't it? Yeah. Just knowing people and making friends and relationships.
For me, with that question, I definitely go up and down with with doubt. And like, if I'm writing my home studio and like I'll write a bunch of songs and I'll be like, these are terrible. I was like, I'm not going to do it, you know. And then we would put some songs together, make a plan of action, and we went to the studio in El Paso last year and did all these new songs. And the minute we got together and started playing the music, I was like, I'm so glad. Every time we get to the next hurdle and get over it, it's like, I'm so glad I stuck at it. I'm so glad I didn't give up, you know?
Yeah, so pushing through is important.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, great. So we'll finish this off now. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. You know, we're right in between sound check and the gig. The guys play pretty soon here, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But little word of advice to maybe a younger player, guy or gal, thinking that they want to do this for a living. Everybody, just give me a little some advice you would want to relay to somebody else trying to do this for a living.
I'm going to go with the Rick Rubin advice that I heard. It was just like, you know, be creative, write, and do everything for yourself, and like then the other things come, you know.
Right.
If you're doing it for, you know, we live in a different age now where people are doing TikTok covers and they're getting like big views and then it falls off and stuff. I think if you're a musician starting off, and you just stick to your genuine, be authentic, and stay true to yourself. That's the only thing I can think of.
Awesome.
Yeah, kind of similar to that. Tiny story as my advice is, I went to college to do music for a bit. Long story, yeah.
Not this one again.
So 1996. And it was just kind of thrown out there throughout the 4 years of the degree that, oh, you know, maybe, you know, the usual joke, cut your hair, get the jazz gig, whatever. And I'd always laugh it off and go, no, you know, not for me. I don't think I'd actually be able to apply myself. I know I'm here playing rock music, what I've always wanted to do. So to cut a really long story is, if you think what you want is for you, do that. Yeah. Don't, you know, compromise, don't cut your hair, you know, start playing things that you don't want to because it's music. You will hate it so fast it's not even funny.
Yep.
If you want to play speed metal, just do that. If you want to play pop music, do that. But do it for yourself. Don't try and, you know, appeal to someone else because you're not going to do it. You may as well have never even started. So my advice is, do the thing you want to do, try hard, and you will get there. I think it will work.
Yep.
Great.
Good advice.
My advice is pretty much to network with everyone. So if there's any local shows in your area, just go there and just chat to like the band members that are playing. Just chat even to some of the local venue guys and stuff, because who knows, you might end up getting like work for them as being like a roadie or a guitar tech, and then like you're kind of like slowly working up the ladder, I guess, and then also like exploring your just other opportunities that you have as well. Yeah. So like you can't do like nowadays there's the internet to meet up with everyone. That's okay, but I think more so meeting people on a personal level, face to face, is definitely the best way to do it.
Keep playing, keep gigging, master your stagecraft, because really practice does make perfect.
Take care of yourself. Like, actually, especially if you're on the road, your mental health and your physical health is usually going to come first, because everything else after that will come easier. So don't bite off more than you could chew. You don't always have the option, but if you do, eat healthy, work out if you can, meditate, do what you need to do, and then the rest will be easier. But you need to take care of yourself.
Avoid McDonald's.
Yeah. No, like especially if you want to last and you want to do this until you die, like in your 70s, and you want to be consistent. Yeah, take care of yourself.
This is young.
Yeah. But am I right? I think I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You're right. Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
It's true. It's true.
Fellas, that's just what a great hang. Thanks for the talk. I mean,
so much.
I really enjoyed that.
You've relayed so much great information for people listening, and I just wish you guys the best of luck with the future of the music, going back out with Jeff, and just whatever music brings to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I like the deep question.
Yeah,
deep question.
that's good. Hitting with the big one out of the gate.
Well, there you go. What'd you think of that? I really enjoyed my conversation with Mark and the boys, and I really appreciate them sitting down right before a show to talk to me about what it's like being a musician. So very gracious of them to do that. I also love the different perspectives we got from each of the guys. A little bit of a different take on what it's like to be a musician. Lots of great advice, too. If you want to see the guys performing live, they're going to be on the road with Richie Kotzen starting the middle of this September 2024. It's a really long tour all across the United States. So I'll leave a link in the description below to Mark's website where you can see the list of dates. And if they're coming to a town near you, take the opportunity because you're going to get a really great night of rock and roll. Richie Kotzen is an amazing guitar player with a great voice, along with Mark and his band. I think it'll be a very enjoyable evening. So take the opportunity if you can. And again, if you're watching and listening on YouTube, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel. If you're checking out the podcast on Podbean, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, thank you very much. Follow the podcast and then come back in a couple of weeks for another episode of So You Want to Be a Musician. Cheers, everybody.